Well, hello there. I'm on a roll with videos, right? Told you guys, leave me some suggestions. So I want to talk about different forms of fasting and the importance of other kinds of fasting. I think the first thing you think of when you hear fasting is just like solid food vacation or like detox cleanse of juices and liquid fasts and whatever, maybe intermittent fasting comes to mind. But there are like so many types of fasting. So I just want to talk about some different fasting that I recently have been doing this year as of 2021 that have really made fasting like a more healthier thing. Talked about it in previous videos and over on my Patreon. We talked about like how eating disorders and fasting can be really close. Once you apply, fasting to other parts of your life, I feel like it gets a lot easier to digest, no pun intended. So the first fast that is pretty popular, and it's like, did you even do it if you don't announce it? But social media and phone fasts. I think this is one that is so vital. I'm currently on a little social media fast, just from Instagram specifically. If you have done a social media cleanse or fast, I would love to know your experience in the comments down below, but I have never regretted it. And if anything, when I come back to social media, I'm like, wow, this is really lame. I mean, there's benefits, and like I make my money online, so I can't say I wait too long, but like in general, it just consumes you, I feel like, more than you consume it. Like I did not download TikTok because I just knew that that would just be a wrap. My phone already dies too fast. We can't have that. I know for me, it's time to do a social media fast when I'm just not sure of my own opinions and I'm just clouded. Like there's just so much influence. I mean, that's all social media kind of is. Kind of ironic to be influencing you right now to do a social media fast. But if you, are just feeling kind of like unsure of what your voice is saying, I just think it's like the most beautiful thing to do. And honestly, like every time I do a social media fast, I'm over on Tumblr. And I know that's still technically social media, but like that is the way to go. If you have ever fasted from social media and then gone over to Tumblr to hang out, please like this video. Next thing, a big thing for me actually was fasting from certain people. I don't know if anyone's ever done this, but it is kind of really life-changing and you really realize so much. You learn so much about you and you learn so much about that other person. Distance can either kind of, the cliche saying, make the heart grow fonder or make people forget. And so it really just shows true colors of the bond or, of the not bond that exists. I had some like old friends that I kind of just felt like our lifestyles were really different and their views were just like really not aligned with mine. We just weren't really like on the same page. And I kind of like internally promised myself to like, how do you feel when you're around that person? Like genuinely ask yourself, like, how do you feel when they leave? Like, do you feel drained? Do you feel full? I know we think of like full and empty when it comes to food, but I always say it, like you're always consuming in a sense. I had a lot of friends, like, I guess especially in like my college years, where I felt like I was outgrowing habits, specifically drinking, to be real. I used to party and do it up, but I just slowly started to outgrow it and step into my grandmother ways, and I'm happy to be here. Hi, hello. And I just felt like I had to fast from those people. We are not on the same page, and it revealed so much. We're really not like friends for real. Like we just bond over disliking this person, or we bond over, this bad habit that we do together. Like you would be surprised what gets exposed when you fast from a person. Okay, this one has been the biggest one that I've done this year. A thought pattern or any kind of just thought, like a part of your brain. Fasting from a part of your brain that is telling you something that for so long you've pinned as true. I dare you to fast from that part of your brain. Like when that thought comes up, be like, no, I'm fasting from that. Nope, we're not doing that today. Something about saying it like that, for some reason for me personally, just made it way easier to like discern thoughts that are mine, thoughts that are not mine. To be real, 2021, I don't like to say it has been rough, but it has faced me with more challenges than the previous year. And so it's been like a lot of this kind of fasting more than anything. So it's been funny when people are like, do you still fast? Do you still fast? And I'm like, man, if you only knew, like I am really fasting from parts of my brain that have told me these absolutes. That is a daily practice, but it is so beautiful to look back on absolutes that I was so stuck to and be like, wow, I can't believe I thought there was like no other way around that thought. Like not all of your thoughts are true. Next step, an environment or a place. This kind of goes hand in hand with like triggers, to be real. Spaces really hold a lot for me. Like every time I've moved out of an apartment or like even my cars that I've had in the past, I just have so like, wow, I've grown so much in this space. Like this van alone, I have transformed. So like when I leave those spaces, the memories just really, really like stick. And that goes for like all kind of things, like certain restaurants and certain parks and just certain places. And so I think it's really healthy to fast from certain environments. And it doesn't necessarily have to be just like that, like trigger memories, but maybe it's just like an unhealthy environment too, you know, like maybe the club or just like, again, certain people, certain energy that really just doesn't align with you anymore. Setting a boundary, that's really what this video is about, like setting healthy boundaries. Like that in its sense, in a way, is fasting. Specifically for me, like my family, like I love my family, but I'm very easily influenced from them. I'll limit things and it'll be like, all right, well, back to the fasting, you know? And the last and final one would be obviously food or a craving. And I want to just like dive into this a little bit because fasting doesn't always have to be like a solid food vacation. It can literally be like I'm fasting from, you know, essentially like all starches, or I'm fasting from white sugar. It can come in many different forms, and I just want to remind you that because I think there's sometimes this like pressure we make up in our head, again, that thought pattern, that we got to go all the way. We got to go to the distance. We got to do that. Like we got to jump all the way in the deep end. But like, nah, start with like a simple fast that like you feel comfortable to do. I'm just really trying to encourage like healthy fasting or healthy detoxing because it really comes back to breath work. I can't mention a video without talking about breath work. When your mind is trying to control your body, it gets really unhealthy, I think, in my opinion. And so when it's just natural, like when you start to do breath work and your needs just naturally decrease and you just like, man, I kind of just don't want to eat meat anymore right now. Like, I don't know, I'm just not feeling called to do it. That is beautiful. I mean, that's not everyone though. I know some people can just be like, nope, I'm not doing it anymore, and cold turkey, just boom, we're not doing this. I'm just telling you to give yourself some grace here and say that you don't have to jump all the way in. My phases were very much enjoyed. Fasting for me these days, I've mentioned in a previous video, is kind of just like when I don't have the need to eat. You know, when it comes to that kind of fasting, when it's just not there, when the desires are just not there. Who are you doing this for too? That's another big thing when it comes to any kind of fasting really. But you know, make sure that it's true to you and it's aligned with where you are right now in your life. Even if you're like, man, I just want to do a 30-day solid food vacation, I just want to be on juice all summer, or some like big goal, because I'm talking to me when I say this, like, yeah, but like maybe right now that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You know, like, I think you have to remember that there's no lack, and that like if you don't do it now, it doesn't mean you can't do it in a month, or it doesn't mean you can't do it next year or 5 years from now. You know, like there's no lack. You know, you don't have to like race against this clock to beat this goal. Like, again, those thought patterns, fast from them, they're not all true. Be patient, like be graceful with yourself, and know that like there's a time and a place for everything. So there's a time for fasting, and then there's just some times where it's just not the time. It's really all about acceptance. Have I figured it all out? No girl, I haven't. But anyway, I just wanted to make that quick little video and share some insight on fasting. I guess just to answer, like I said, I still fast, but it is so not like documented and recorded and like, okay, 4 days and we're just doing fruit and whatever. I guess if I could like generally sum it up, I have really only been on fruit for like a long time. I can't tell you how long because I don't know. Occasionally raw vegan food. That has really been my whole, you know, food consumption. But I have been more so, like I said, fasting from thought patterns this year. Like that has been huge and so much healthier. It actually tied in with the whole food fasting. All of that pressure and all of those made up thoughts and all of that lack. Whoa. Stepping out of that is so relieving. It is the biggest exhale to just like give myself permission to go through these phases. All right, hopefully this video helped you with wherever you're at in your journey of trying to live with less, or you know, maybe change some habits in your life. If you have any questions or suggestions, you can always leave them down below. And yeah guys, until next time, peace and love.